Today I want to talk about Jackson State versus Alabama A&M. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about Jackson State Tigers football as the Tigers are set to host Alabama A&M for homecoming. Now, this is a big game for a number of reasons, not the least of which is Jackson State has just 2 more games left, right? The other, Prairie View A&M. I'm excited about that. PV A&M is very good over there in the SWAC West. Of course, in the SWAC East, Jackson State is trying to win the division, and they get a couple of W's here. They could still do that. A&M has played all of 1 game, but they have the preseason player of the year at quarterback in Akil Glass. But more than that, it's about what Jackson State is going to be able to show, if anything. Now, earlier this week, Deion Sanders announced that Jalen Jones is getting benched in favor of Quinn Casey. Casey is, well, pretty decent. Looked good against Edward Waters, but who didn't look good against Edward Waters when Jackson State played them? And it's really about, for me, the offensive line. I don't even know if this is what Jalen Jones did. I think this is more what the offensive line did to Jalen Jones. To say nothing of Tyson Alexander, also out for this game. So you're going to start the game without your 2 leading rushers. And I assume that Jones would be ready to go off the bench if Casey does not look like he has the goods. That said, you needed to do something because you have dynamic pass catchers and you cannot protect your quarterback. Corey Reed and Dalen Baldwin can only do so much. Dalen Baldwin had the highlight play of the game for me for Jackson State in their loss last week. But again, you need to be able to distribute the ball to those 2 dudes that can make plays for you. They got a nice tight end that they can get the ball to as well. But if you're not going to be able to block anybody up front, you're going to have problems. Like when I pointed this out in their first loss, right, when they dropped to 3-1, I had said to folks, offensive line looks pretty suspect. And they're like, yo, they were missing starters on the offensive line. All right, cool. Now what's your excuse? Because Southern ran up one side of them and down the other, okay? It's a running football team that could run all day, 294 yards on the ground. You got to be able to stop people. And then they were able to get home to Jalen Jones whenever they wanted to. Now, I get that Southern had the FCS's active sacks leader at defensive end. Dude gonna play on Sundays. Outside of that, though, you ought to be able to win some matchups, okay? You're going to have to do that against A&M. And you're going to have to do it, once again, on ESPN. Because, yes, we want to see Jackson State play football, right? We also want to see that Jackson State is good. Now, are they going to be as good, are they going to be better than they are right now in the fall? Absolutely. But you're going to have so many other people that are back too, like Alcorn State, who opted out of this season. Bethune-Cookman and FAMU are also joining the SWAC. So it's going to get to be a lot, well, better as a conference. And perhaps then we can talk about the SWAC competing in a playoff scenario. But I'm excited about this game because, 1, it's football on television, and I want to see competitive football on television. 2, we care about Jackson State in a way that we have not cared about Jackson State in some years. And 3, they're trying to get their first winning season since 2013, which is not a small thing. They have not beaten A&M or AAMU since 2017. Let me go check that right quick because I want to make sure I get this right. What are we? AAMU. Okay. Since 2017. And then we're talking about trying to have the best finish to the season since 2011, right? That year, 2011, started out the season 4-1, 3-1. And we're looking to go to 4-0 for the first time since 1996. Let me make sure I got that right. But I'm also really interested to see how much of this momentum Deion Sanders can maintain because now he's into the place where he's saying things like, I don't equate wins and losses with success. And I'm like, well, the rest of us do. Like, welcome to being a football coach, dog. Like, you are what your record says you are. Now, Are we optimistic about Jackson State? Yes. Is Deion Sanders on anything like a hot seat? Absolutely not. Hell no, right? But that we're talking in this way also tells you a lot about the expectations for this football team, especially when you get high-profile transfers in, not unlike Jalen Jones, who you had to bench, all right? So, if anything, I'm going to be looking at some of the offensive linemen they can go get, and what we know is big, fast, strong dudes don't absolutely grow on trees. As much as we love to talk about the skill players, if you have 6'4", 6'5", 300-pound dudes who can move, you're probably going to win more football games than you should, right? And certainly more football games than you lose. And I think Jackson State is going to have to build toward that. That said, we're talking about Jackson State football being a couple wins away from playing in a SWAC championship game, and then for real, being able to say we're one of the class teams, top 25, as they were just a few weeks ago in FCS. But they're going to have to stop Akil Glass. Akil Glass went for 3,600 yards, 32 touchdowns versus 11 picks in 2019. In his start against South Carolina State, went for 272 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's going to be out there slinging it. You're going to get to see these ball hawks that Jackson State has in action. I'm very excited about Alexander Shaw as well as Dijon Warren, but you need some things to go your way. Going into this game, the Tigers ranked second in the conference in scoring defense, 20.8 points per game, fourth in total defense, 347.2 yards per game, and then seventh in rush defense, 170 yards they're giving up on the ground versus 176 they're giving it up through the air. So we're already seeing that you can go at their three-man front and you can get anything that you want against it. I don't know what Nate Thurman's going to have in store for us going through this, but you're going to have to stop people and you're going to have to protect your quarterback if you want to win this game. So keys to victory, if you will: stop the run, protect the passer, control the ball, let your playmakers make plays. It's that simple. They can do those things with Casey at quarterback, great. But I don't think it's up to him. I think it's really up to the offensive line and the defensive line, or as we say in football parlance, games won in the trenches. Deuces.